Teas, where we dive into authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us, from personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation.
Drink with the best.
Welcome, everybody, to Tanisha Talks Teas. Happy Wednesday afternoon. How are all my tea talkers? Hope you all are doing well and ready to sip some hot tea. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Diddy documentary, Part 3, The Downfall of Inside the Freak-Offs of It All. So sit back, grab your tea, whatever your drink of choice, whatever you are doing to relax and wind down your day, whether it's winding up your day, getting to work, winding down your day, getting ready to get off work, getting your kids from school, walking the dog, sitting on the couch, listening to Tanisha Talks Teas, watching The Downfall of Diddy Part 3 documentary review. Let's start now.
Make some noise if you've been here before.
I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs.
Oh, my.
Everybody looked like they on drugs.
Did you see people engaging in sex where there were multiple people?
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing like different celebrities. It was a rapper that we all know.
If you gonna fuck with the best, drink with the best. That's it.
You said that there were other powerful people you allege were involved in some of these assaults. Are we talking about celebrities, politicians, business people?
I think all the above.
The more victims who come forward, the better. There is strength in numbers.
We have seen video of one of these freak-offs, and it is porn. Straight up porn, directed by Diddy.
Still standing taller than I've ever been.
I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their name out of it.
Is that going on now?
Yes. They want to talk to me. They feel like they can trust me.
Are these high-profile people calling you because they've had some affiliation with Diddy that they don't want to come out?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I don't even know why I just said it, but I said it, so what? Now they gotta be mad. Come get me, fuck it.
Did y'all hear the black guy with the dreadlocks on TMZ said, we have seen one of Diddy's freak-off tapes, and it is a porn show directed by Diddy. Oh my. So that's going to be a lot for the trial, y'all. Oh my God, y'all. Who do y'all believe are on these freak-offs? I, for one, believe Ray J is. Let's get into it. TMZ presents The Downfall of Diddy Inside the Freak-Offs. Thank you for listening, watching, and sipping this tea.
The indictment alleged some of Combs' employees helped set off so-called freak-offs in which women were forced into sex acts with male prostitutes.
The indictment also alleges that during these freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to the victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant.
He allegedly made videos of these sexual performances that have been named freak-offs.
But I'm still on my superstar shit, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely feeling like a superstar.
My name is Tania Wallace. I am a singer-songwriter, and I was at I believe to be one of P. Diddy's freak-offs. 2018, I went to this freak-off. I was looking for someone to invest in me. So long story short, a friend who knew a prince, and he said, I think you would, like this guy. He knows a lot of celebrities. He has connections. I ended up getting flew out to Miami. He's like, oh, just to let you guys know, we're going to P. Diddy's house. We're going Star Island. I'm like, oh, okay. We get there. When we were through a door, the security patted us down, and then they put my phone in a bubble. Only thing I can do is as we mingled around, it was a photo booth, a Team Love photo booth. I got in that photo booth, so I have pictures of that. I'm looking around, people walking around naked, people screaming. It's house music, too, so that's another thing. It's trying to, distract us. Boom, 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 really in our ear, like a rave or something. And I'm like, what the? But I'm just looking at everybody walk around. I'm like, everybody look like they on drugs or faded. Mind you, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, so it seemed like it's been going already. People are eating breakfast, naked, skinny dipping in the pool, drinking mimosas or whatever. But it was just so strange because I see, titties, I see everything just flopping around, just people just free. So I'm just like, okay. So then P. Diddy comes. So he asked me are you enjoying my house? And I said, yeah. But the way he came up on me, it scared me. He creeped up out of nowhere and then looked at me dead in my eyes are you enjoying my house?
Go your left, please. Left, guys. Together, guys.
Now, mind you, he was dating who he was dating. We all know.
He was dating Cassie.
Mm-hmm. He was dating her. And so she came older, and I'm thinking, this is y'all stuff. She's only coming over here because her man is over here in my face. I'm a woman. I know how it is. She probably just checking his temperature and my temperature. Who are you? So she started to, rub on his shoulders, and he just flung her off and pushed her. And I'm looking and she just walked away. So I'm kind of, enjoying the music. And then he's like, so why haven't you went inside? I'm like, oh, I'm going to go inside. He was like, yeah, you need to go inside now. I'm like, okay, just shine him off. So I waited for him to walk away. As he walked away, I told my friend, let me just go in the house and see what's going on. I'll be back, girl. So I went in the house, and that's when things, got kind of crazy. People over here doing something, people over here fucking, people over here doing something else, smoking, doing drugs. And then I seen this corner.
I just want to make sure I understand. So there are people doing drugs, there are people having sex.
And I'm seeing different celebrities. It was a rapper that we all know. I'm not gonna say his name. But he came and was like, hey, you, and got the feeling on me. I didn't think of it as nothing, because I'm gonna tell you something in a minute. But I didn't think of it as nothing because I'm like, everybody is just high. But feeling all on me and holding on me or whatever, and I'm like, move.
Fuck everybody, Sometimes you have to say fuck everybody. It's all right.
I'm sorry for being graphic here, but I think it's relevant given what Diddy is facing right now. Did you see people engaging in sex where there were multiple people in a cluster?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And did you happen to notice, were all of the participants that you saw engaged in sex, did they seem lucid to you, conscious, aware?
They seemed like they were intoxicated or high off something.
So this is 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, and that's what tripped me out because they had been going already before we came. I thought that's just how the people with money do it, or I don't know.
I live an extravagant life, and I make no apologies for it. I'm free as a motherfucker.
So I come out, he's screaming, I'm king of the world, I'm this and that.
This is Diddy.
Yeah, this is Diddy, but I expect this from him. You know, he's doing that, jumping all around. He had a couch out there, outside in the backyard. And he's sitting back, and he's got his legs open, and you know.
He's masturbating.
Yeah, basically. So that we could look.
Ballpark.
Dr. Larson has no recollection of the last 8 years.
Okay. As we are paying some bills over at Harvey Levin's house, let's continue to pay some bills over at Tanisha Talks Tees. Bless the boo. Okay. We are coming live today with the part 3 documentary, compliments of TMZ. Thank you, Mr. Harvey Levin and all. That what the freak offs were about. Inside the freak offs, they are having real people in real time tell their real experiences of what they experienced, witnessed, did, done, all of that tea actually with Diddy, right? So they are now speaking with a former stripper, maybe still, engaging in escortive behavior, that was in fact at the Diddy parties and was engaging and watching and seeing what was going on. Okay, so that is where we are. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. And was engaging and watching and seeing what was going on. Okay, perfect. You guys can hear me. So yes, that's what we're doing today. Bless the boo. My cash app is Tanisha Talks Tees. Go on over there and donate. Bless the creator of the review, which would be Tanisha Talks Tees. You can also send me stars down in the bottom of the comment section as well. Please leave your comments, thoughts, notes, tips, everything about the show and what we are watching and engaging in. Today we are doing the third part of the documentary, The Freak Offs. Okay. We want to also thank everybody for following. We are up to 13,451. That's 13,451 new followers. Thank you, Legendary Digital Movement, Too Pretty Boy Gang, Diamond Dior, Mama Bear Extreme Deals, Nikki Tucker, Crystal Russell, Rose Lee Essen, Just Mary, Matrice Booker, Tanita Bybee, Alicia Smith, Valor Chloe, Heather Allen, Maria Gilbert, Janessa Deramuse, Glenda Finlay, Renee Franklin, Brenda Elstith Anderson, Lola James, Patricia Denise, Cassandra Wilson, Cindy Sadie, and other 13 more followers. Thank you guys so much for being followers. And here is the tea. The TMZ presents the downfall of Diddy inside the freak off tapes.
People. It was like a house party that was packed. That's why you couldn't really see nothing unless you walk up on and kind of be nosy and be like, what's going on over there? What's going on over there?
You said you saw celebrities there. Roughly how many people that you recognized?
3 or 4.
And you said one was a rapper. Were they all in music?
Yeah.
And all famous?
Yeah.
And all participating?
Oh, yeah. This rapper, what I am going to say is I'm used to seeing them dress a different type of way at this party. 2 earrings on, and I'm looking like, he sure do look different when he's over here with Diddy.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man. When they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them. I put them to sleep.
Put down your phones and feel the music. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to them.
I'm Ray J. I'm an entertainer. I'm host of the new show, The Reality Check News. And I'm a friend of Diddy's.
But if you ain't got love for me, or if you don't want to work for the big homie, then don't tune in.
Even if you don't have love for us, tune in.
You were very close to Diddy. You have known him for a long, long time. And to be blunt, if Diddy was throwing these freak-offs, I would think that he would think of you. You were in a sex tape that may have been the biggest sex tape ever and made a lot of waves back then.
The sex tape of Kim and her former boyfriend, hip-hop singer Ray J, surfaced. The tape propelled Kim to fame and gave the world an inside look at the family dynamics.
Have you been to these freak-offs ever?
We're going to pause that there. Yes, Ray J has entered the group chat. However, he's not ever been out of the group. Okay? He's always been in the group. Ray J and Kim Kardashian back in like the early 2000s had a freak-off tape that they did for exposure and clout and, you know, all of those good things like that. However, the only one that benefited from that was Kim. Kim was the one that catapulted into stardom of being a reality TV show, a brand ambassador, because at the time Kim was a girl that was styling people. Like she was going around styling you know, celebrities, up-and-coming people, things like that. And she put out this freak-off tape with Ray J. When people saw that, they were more interested in what more can Kim Kardashian do. So they started giving her other opportunities throughout, you know, her life, her career, you know, which made her then create, you know, her own brand, which turned her into damn near a billionaire, right? Ray J's salty about that. He does not like the fact that Kim Kardashian was the only one that gained any more claim to fame, especially considering he was already a household name. He was Brandy's little brother. However, it did not work out in his favor in that way. And so, you know, he was bitter. He was mad about that. So I want to go out on my own empathic, you know, understanding and believe that Ray J continued on freaking off, which is now why Ray J is where Ray J is, considering now Diddy is where he is. You know, I believe Ray J continued to freak off to get himself into positions where he needed to be financially and exposurally and family to, you know, carry out that Ray J persona. I'm Brandy's little brother, but I'm also my own talent. And I can also, you know, work this creativeness out of me as well. I believe Ray J freaked off with Diddy for various, you know, things in his life that he needed to fulfill his destinational goals, such as, you know, the Scooty bikes, you know, the Raytronics earbuds. I believe that, you know, him freaking off with Diddy may have also aided in supporting these goals and dreams for Ray J. Let's listen in. You are listening to Tanisha Talks Teas, while TMZ presents the downfall of Diddy inside the freak offs. Let's sip this hot tea. Remember to also bless this show. You can bless this show by donating a blessing to my Cash App of any amount. $1 to $1,000, whatever you feel like donating is completely your blessing to bless the show with. Remember, I cannot do the show without your blessing. So continue to bless me. Let's listen.
I've never freaked off. I've never been to any freak off with any of my friends because I like freaking off in front of people. That's just not.
We don't believe you, Ray J. First of all, we know you like to freak off in front of people. You and Kim Kardashian created a porn show. Okay, y'all did a porn video for the sole purpose for others to watch and catapult y'all into a world where money, you know, was opened up for y'all. Financially, areas of life were opened up. Thank you very much.
my thing. I'm not gonna be in an orgy because I don't like orgies.
And I don't believe Ray J, because I do know that Princess Love has also stated, which you guys know is his current wife and mother of his children. She did say that Ray J would like to involve him and her in 3 or more people engaging in intimate relations. I do recall Princess Love stating that. That's not an alleged, something that I'm alleging that may have been floating around as a rumor. I remember hearing Princess Love say that her and Ray J engage in multiple sexual partners when they are engaging in sexual activities with each other. And Ray J is usually the one that introduces the idea, the girls, la da dee da. Let's continue listening.
I don't like fucking in front of my friends. I like fucking females with my other homies in the room.
And who doesn't believe that Ray J and Safari have not engaged in freak-offs? I, for one, personally believe that they have engaged in freak-offs with Diddy, okay? Because Safari has not been financially solid on his own out here since the start of us knowing when he was dating Nicki Minaj, okay? He has not sold #1 records. He's not been on any charting lists. I mean, yes, Safari, is an idealistic looking person, but he's not like one of the top models of the world or anything like that. Where is Safari, owning homes and very expensive, lavish luxury cars and bikes and jewelry and the hundreds of countless of expensive furs that Safari wears? I believe it's from Safari freaking off with Diddy. I believe that Safari threw that Bucci cat back on Diddy with Ray J and whoever else, Stevie J, and all the many girls. I believe that they performed sexual acts for Diddy for money. Yes, I do. Okay, let's continue to listen.
I've never had that kind of energy to be fucking with other people in the room unless it was me and a bunch of women. That's different. And this is neither here nor there because now this is TMI. But what I'm saying is I don't go to freak-offs because I don't freak off like that. Now, I can't say other people I don't know are freaks. Were they at the freak-offs? I hope not.
And why do you hope not? Why can't you be at a freak-off? Raise your hand if you've been in a freak-off. No. Not for nothing. A freak-off is not a crime. It's only a crime if you are committing one. Why do you hope your friends were not at freak-off parties? If they want to freak off, nigga, let them freak out. But why would you hope that they would not have been at one? Unless there was something illegal going on that would alert the feds and Homeland Security. Okay, let's keep listening.
I like that.
Ray, why do you think you didn't get an invite given how public this sex tape was?
That's a very freaky question, Harvey. I don't know. Never got the invite. So, is this shit really real? Are these freak-offs really real? Because now I'm starting to think this shit fake. Now I'm starting to think all this shit fabricated.
Yeah, here we go. Oh.
I'm Stevie J, Grammy Award-winning music producer and reality star, and I'm Diddy's friend and brother.
We got the fire. We got the fire.
The feds are making a big part of their case these freak-offs. And you can look at the freak-offs in a couple of different ways. If it's an orgy, there's nothing illegal about having an orgy. That people do it all over the country, all over the world. And there's nothing illegal about it. It becomes problematic if somebody is in there where there isn't consent, perhaps because they're drugged or they're drunk or whatever. But orgies themselves are not illegal. Have you ever talked to him about freak-offs? Been at freak-offs?
Hell yeah.
Heard about freak-offs over the years?
To be honest, everybody knows me as a ladies' man, Harv. And for me, I do my own thing. I wouldn't label it freak-offs. I let Puff handle.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I believe that Stevie J and every one of his baby mothers and every woman that he has been associated with in his life freaked off with Diddy and the crew. Why? Because that's what the crew used to do, boo. Okay? And with Diddy being the puppet master of everybody's careers, everybody's dreams, everybody's goals, everybody's wants, needs, and you know what I mean? All of that. Hell yeah. Diddy said, freak off. Them niggas was naked before he said off. Why? Because they know at the end of the day, Diddy can fund your dreams. Diddy can make Stevie J that top producer of award-winning Grammy songs. Stevie J can, or Stevie J Puffy can continue to make sure that Faith lives and eats and survives and is a beloved R&B singer after Biggie Smalls is dead and gone. Things like that. He can take Jocelyn while she's with Stevie and make her a bad bitch. Okay? Oh, I definitely believe that Puff Daddy puppeteering had all of that going on. Let's continue to listen.
His business in his bedroom, and I handle mine. I've never been to any of these alleged freak-offs. And what you asked me about being consensual, I've never seen.
And goddamn it, me, Stevie J was a willing participant. Jocelyn was a willing participant. Faith Evans, willing participant. Ray J, willing participant. Safari, willing participants. Y'all was willing. Why? Y'all are in the limelight in one way, shape, form, or fashion, and Diddy has been known to throw around that he can keep you there and keep you in the light. Yeah.
My man's had to take anything. I don't know what's going to come out because I wasn't in the bedroom. But any woman that was around him when I saw him, they wanted to be there. But like I said, I'm not the type of guy that stays but after the after party. But for me, I do my own thing with my women, and he does his own thing with his.
This is she. Yeah.
Stevie, it's so interesting. I've interviewed a number of people who have been in Diddy's world, his orbit, and everybody has said the same thing to me, which is essentially they don't know about these freak-offs, yet they were after parties at big events sometimes.
Check it out, we here. It's like a little after-hours joint. This we do at Bad Boy. We just left the party. It's like 6 in the morning. We got
that would be fine, however, I have
the rock and lemonade.
And yet, everybody is saying, I don't know anything about it. I'm having a hard time reconciling that.
Well, if you do your due diligence for me, I don't really go to parties. I've only been to maybe one of Puffy parties, and that was like 98. With my then pregnant baby moms and her pregnant girlfriend. I don't attend a party. I just do my thing and go home. I do my work in the studio, I do my work on television, and I go home and I have my fun. I'm with my children. So, I don't stick around for that. I never witnessed that, Harv, and this is 1,000% true. I never been to none of those parties, man.
Not yet.
And I ain't gonna lie, I live a good life. I work hard and I play hard.
My name is Charles Latibaudiere. I am the executive producer at TMZ. In the government's indictment of Diddy, they define freak-offs as his sexual encounters, sometimes with multiple people, but oftentimes it's just 3 people. Diddy, a woman, and a sex worker. We have actually spoken to a male sex worker who says that he engaged in these freak-offs multiple times over almost 2 years with Diddy and another woman.
Who is rumored to be Cassie. You know, prior to Young Miami, it was Cassie. Then it was Young Miami. Before that, who was it? Who was he dating? I don't know. Y'all have to, we have to go back on Diddy. But I know recently would be Young Miami and Cassie.
He said that this happened in LA, in Miami, in New York, always in hotels. But the first time was in Los Angeles. Now, this sex worker actually has video of one of their encounters. I have seen this video, and it is porn. Straight up porn, directed by Diddy. So he walks into the hotel room. The woman greets him in lingerie, makes him sign an NDA, and then Diddy comes into the room. The initial meeting, he said, she starts out doing some dancing, very slow, very sensual, and he and Diddy are watching. Everybody's naked at this point, watching her dance, and then at some point she begins performing oral sex on the sex worker. Diddy is watching, covered in baby oil.
Higher than a cooter brown. Thank you all for enjoying the show today. We are reviewing The Downfall of Diddy and How to Freak Off, presented by TMZ, compliments of TMZ. And yeah, Diddy is a hot mess, okay? And, we're just following the content of what's, all inside the life of Diddy that brought him to where he is at this point now. He's still currently incarcerated in a Manhattan jail. I believe it's in a New York jail. We're going to say New York jail. And so, that's just what that is for Diddy. He's not looking like he's been denied bail 3 or 4 times. Even at $500,000, like, you better send it up to $1 million. I think the judge wants $1 million. You better throw your mama's pussy up on the judge's bench and $1 million, because I think that's what he's going to need to get you out of jail. You have to sacrifice that. You've been sacrificing asses for a long time. You can sacrifice your mama, nigga. No, but all the rest of jokes aside, like the Judge United shot it down 3 or 4 times, and so he's gonna have to sit it out in jail until his trial. The Downfall of Diddy. Remember to bless the content creator, who is me, Tanisha Talks Tees, on my Cash App, simply at $sign Tanisha Talks Tees. Thank you.
The sex worker said that what he observed was Diddy masturbating oftentimes while he was having sex with the woman. Now, on one particular occasion, Diddy accidentally picked up the sex worker's phone by mistake to record the exchange, which at that point was really just the worker and the woman having sex. At no point do you see Diddy having sex in this, but you do see him step into frame several times.
As alleged, Combs used coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines.
Sources connected to this case tell us this sex worker actually did meet with the federal prosecutors. He also produced this video, and he has turned over that video to the feds.
To date, the video has not led to any charges against Diddy. Diddy's lawyer tells us any intimate or sexual conduct involving Mr. Combs and the 2 others in the video, including the activities depicted in the video, was completely consensual and lawful. These freak-offs are part of a cavalcade of lawsuits and allegations that are just mounting by the day. And this started with just a couple of accusers, and now the floodgates have opened.
Our law firms have been retained by 120 individuals at this point to pursue cases in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs. I'm Tony Busby, a lawyer in Houston, representing victims suing Sean Combs. There's a very clear MO here, and it involves almost every time some sort of substance that's placed into someone's drink. And that's kind of the reoccurring theme, no matter if it's a white party, an after party, an album release party, whether it's a after concert party, whether it's a party at a club that continues in a hotel. It's that same MO.
Go get a drink downstairs.
Many who did in fact seek medical treatment were drug tested, and drugs were found in their system, weird drugs. One in particular that continues to pop up is known as a horse tranquilizer. You know, some of these cases, Harvey, are so egregious and the allegations are so outrageous. You know, I've been doing this a long, long time. I'm almost 30 years doing this and handled all kinds of cases, and I thought I'd heard most of it all. Some of the allegations that have been made are just, I mean, they're just outrageous.
I'm still standing taller than I've ever been.
I'm Lisa Bloom. I'm a victims' rights attorney. I represent Dawn Richard in her federal lawsuit against Sean Combs and a number of other people.
In the lawsuit, Dawn Richard, who was also a member of the group Danity Kane, accuses Diddy of terrorizing and sexually abusing her.
Lisa, I want to read what you are alleging against Diddy in this federal lawsuit. You are alleging gender-motivated violence, sexual assault, forced labor, sex trafficking, assault, battery, sexual battery, false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, sexual harassment, gender discrimination, hostile work environment, retaliation, copyright infringement, violation of the right of publicity, breach of contract, breach of implied covenant of good faith, fair dealing, and fraud. You pretty much are in the kitchen sink here. Can you broadly describe what Dawn says she endured over the years of interacting with Diddy?
Sure, and it's true. We have a lot of legal claims against Sean Combs and many others that turned out to be strikingly similar to what the government alleged a week after our complaint was filed in the government's criminal case. Unfortunately, during the time that she worked with Sean Combs, she alleges there were a series of incidents of sexual harassment, sexual assault, false imprisonment, including locking her in places where she couldn't get out, a lot of threats of violence, and she witnessed, she said, Mr. Combs engaging in acts of violence against other people, including Cassie Ventura, who had her own lawsuit, and we've all seen that horrific video of Sean Combs attacking her.
My name is Tania Wallace.
By Diddy. 120 and counting. That is a staggering number.
Yep. I had the same reaction, which is, how can this possibly be that there are this many people who were impacted, victimized by one individual? When you start looking at it, and the conduct, at least from this client group, ranges from 1991 all the way to 2024. And when you look at that in the context of many, many different parties and club visits and concerts, then you can start to understand how there could possibly be this many people.
How do you fact check something that might be 20 or 30 years old?
Very difficult. What we say in the plaintiff's law business is the plaintiff is the case. So you look like, what do you do for a living? What have you done over your lifetime? Questions like that. And then you start want corroboration. Who can put you at that point in time there? Do you have plain receipts? Do you have other witnesses? Tell me exactly where you were, who was there. You know, it's basically just doing the same thing in a very nice way. Obviously, I'm not cross-examining these folks and being mean about it. But on the other hand, I want to make sure that I believe them. And like I say, I've been around for a long time, and I'm typically a skeptical person. But typically, if I believe them and they have some corroboration, when I put it in context of what I know was actually going on, that's how we have to do it, and that's how it is in every case.
Who's the boss? Dudes is lost. Don't think 'cause I'm nice.
For the first time, we are hearing about victims who say they were minors when they were allegedly assaulted by the music star. The youngest allegedly just 9 years old.
An unnamed woman alleges Combs and 2 other men, including a former longtime president of Combs' record label, gang raped her in a New York recording studio 20 years ago when she was just 17 and a junior in high school.
You don't fuck with the best, drink with the best. That's it.
I look to the right of me, and in the corner, I'm looking like, are those midgets? Because people were it's people over them, like it's people trying to hide what they're doing. They're all huddled up. So I'm like, what is that? But no, they weren't. They were little people. And, I don't want to say too much. They were little people. So use your common sense. Dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies, red lipstick, looking like real sexy, revealing like cute. So I'm like, what the hell?
What were the little people doing?
Getting covered up, trying to cover up what they were doing. Just, I don't know, like being admired, being hid, something. But it's like, what are they doing here? Because this is a grown party.
Are you talking about adults who are little people, or are you talking about minors?
Am I gonna get in trouble? I don't want to say I witnessed any of that crazy stuff, but we all have common sense. Little people that's not supposed to be there.
You're talking about underage people.
It's a shame.
Were they involved in any of this, or were they just by themselves?
They were surrounded around adults, so who knows what was going on, but the question is, what are they doing there? So had I been participating, I would have known. And I feel like I participated enough by being there, because had I took a drink, I just know how this goes.
Houston attorney Tony Busby announced that among the large group of people he represents, 25 were minors at the time of the alleged criminal activity.
I kind of look at these cases in 2 different buckets, if you will. One bucket is kind of the party bucket, where there's drugs involved and people are flown in and taken advantage of and sometimes kept longer than they anticipated. But then there's another bucket of people that I think is probably, the allegations are much more egregious, if that's possible, where younger people trying to break into the business are coerced, forced in some cases to do things they would never do. In some cases, minors, the allegations of parents and the former minors themselves, of things that they were coerced to do to try to get a record deal.
You're talking about performing oral sex. I know you've alleged that on Diddy.
That's true. Correct.
One complaint describes an alleged incident between a then 16-year-old and the music mogul at one of his infamous white parties in the Hamptons back in 1998.
Have those minors spoken with the feds? Because I haven't heard that from the feds yet, that these cases involve people underage.
Some have. Some have not. As you can imagine, there's some of these folks that were minors at the time, and they're now, of course, adults with spouses and children. And, we're talking about conduct in some cases that are 15 to 20 years old, and some are very reluctant to have their name in the public sphere.
So the feds have been in touch with people who were minors who, at the time, who alleged they were sexually abused by Diddy.
I believe so, yes. This is based on the allegations made by a large group of people, many of which are very consistent. A lot of the minors involved were, in fact, young men. And I know that a few of these young men have, in fact, spoken to the authorities. Now, I can't confirm that any of the formerly minor females have. But again, I'm encouraging all of them to do so. I think it's more cathartic to let your story be heard. Let's air this all out.
All right, we are on a commercial with the Diddler. We are the downfall of Diddy Part 3 inside the Freak Offs. Okay, we'd like to shout out our recent followers, Made in Honesty, Dominican Princess Parata, and Kenya Jones. Thank you for following. You can also bless the show by sending Tanisha Talks Tees a cash app right at $sign Tanisha Talks Tees. Okay, you can also drop that in the comments and send me some stars. There are only a penny. My God, I can't have a penny for my thoughts of how I see the downfall of Diddy. So we are up to the lawyers. Now, Tony Busby, y'all, if y'all don't know, he's been under some scrutiny, some fire, some all of that, okay? But everybody's like, his lawsuits are falling through. His witnesses or his victims are not, victim, none of that. Like, they're not victiming, they're not witnessing, they're not none of that. Like, they're not credible, they're not solidified, they're not valid, they're not, even in the same state as they're accusing Diddy and Jay-Z. Now, Tony Busby, I hear he's being sued. I hear he's being sued by Jay-Z, and I also hear he's being sued by a couple other people for, malpractice and not lawyering at all. Like, he's not doing his damn job. So we're going to see where his victims go, if anywhere, with Diddy. It's like, I know y'all ain't playing with Diddy down to the feds with this shit. He going to sue the whole state of New York if you get out. Okay? Be somewhere a gazillion trillionaire in this motherfucker. But we are watching the Diddy Downfall Part 3 documentary. Compliments of TMZ. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We are up to 34 people watching. Thank you so much for all 34 of y'all. Continue to share the video. 18 shares so far. Thank you all so much for sharing the freaking video. So also, please comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on Diddy as he is being taken down. Okay. I don't think there's a comeback for Diddy. I just don't know, y'all. We're gonna have to wait and I can say I think Diddy's ass is going to prison for life. They better hope his ass don't get the death motherfucking penalty, okay, for these crimes. I mean, they look like they really want to throw the kitchen sink at Diddy and bury him with it. To where next time we see Diddy, he'll look like motherfucking Methuselah. Okay, I just don't know. But not for nothing, I really, hope the feds did not make a fool of themselves. Because if they did, Diddy's gonna get out, and all of y'all motherfuckers that was somewhere talking might not be talking. Let's listen. We are back at Diddy's Downfall inside the Freak Offs, presented by TMZ. Compliments of Tanisha Talks Tees.
With Big Brother Puff.
Right.
In the house. Look, I mean, maybe it's unfair, but it seems like this speaks to what we've been hearing and seeing with Usher and others.
Well, Usher is the big one. Usher was 13 years old when he stayed with Diddy and said that he saw things a 13-year-old never should have seen.
It was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
My name is Justin Lachowski, and I was at a Diddy white party when I was 6 years old.
Who invited you? How did you end up going?
My parents, they got invited. They get invited to those things to cover as press.
We fed y'all, we gave y'all some drinks, now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life.
And they always bring me to the daytime events. We thought it was gonna be a normal event where I'd go meet some friends that were my age, and it was not, so. I personally remember the topless women. It was about an hour and a half or 2 hours into the event where people started getting comfortable and getting into the pool, and that's when like the weed was out, the hookah was out, like that sort of vibe. I had never been to a Hamptons party where that was ever the vibe. Like, there's of course adults having their adult beverages, but never weed smoking topless women. I've never been to anything like that in my life.
You say that the party turned once it got dark. So topless women, marijuana, what else?
When it started getting darker and darker, my parents moved us to the other side of the house where that stuff wasn't happening, but where the actual house was and where the pool was, there was a lot of weed smoke, and it's what it seemed like rappers and like nightlife, sort of club life happening. When it really started going, we moved to another location. We stayed at the event until about 8:30, and then we moved.
Is there anything that strikes you today, looking back at maybe something that didn't even occur to you at the time you were there?
Looking back at it, I do believe that I myself am not a big deal or a victim of anything that Diddy did, but I think that the fact that I was there and I wasn't kicked out is very alarming for me now.
We have to expand our minds to take in the horrors of people who do things like this. When hundreds of people come forward, there is definitely strength in numbers, and we see that as a very positive sign.
Tell us out, your life is what you make it, man.
There are a number of people, mostly women, who have been coming forward. You've heard of the Busby law firm. They say they have 120 people. They've gotten thousands of phone calls since their news conference. So what do you think about that all these people are coming forward now and saying that they were victims?
Well, if you think about the money grab with that, that's easy. It's almost like one of those infomercials where they say something about mesothelioma or something like that. And if you've been affected by this, call this number. There's $3 billion available to pay you. For people who really went through that, yes, call the number. But there's also a ding, 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 and all of the scammers out there that's feeling like, okay, maybe we can eat too.
The number of people who say they were abused by Sean Combs has exploded since several news conferences where lawyers were soliciting other victims. And in one case, I think it was 12,000 people called a hotline. Does that...
12,000 people. That's outrageously enormous, okay? 12,000 people have said that in one way or another they were victimized by Diddy. That's crazy.
Actually complicate things for real victims.
This is where you go.
Because clearly there are a lot of people who are just jumping on that gravy train.
The more victims who come forward.
What? For the site that you asked me, that's where you go.
Strength in numbers. It is true that every single person who comes forward may not have a claim, but I think the vast majority of them do. This is, in my opinion, a criminal organization with a lot of enablers that went on for many, many years. And I think there are a lot of victims, hundreds, perhaps thousands.
Another woman is alleging she was drugged and raped by Sean Diddy Combs. The violent sexual assault was recorded and shown to others.
The music mogul is facing 5 new civil lawsuits, including one from a woman who alleges she was raped by Combs when she was 19 years old.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing a new rash of civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault.
What's your reaction to all of these people, mostly women, coming forward and saying they were sexually abused or abused in other ways by Diddy?
Well, my reaction is I don't really have one because I'm waiting for my guy to get his day in court, and we'll see where the truth lies. I'm processing it as like, yo, It's a media crucifixion, man. They're crucifying the guy in the media right now. We don't know what's true or what's not true.
Following his arrest in September and arraignment for a sex trafficking and racketeering case, Combs remains behind bars at a Brooklyn detention center.
Let's just say something. Now, just for you know, for Pete's sake, all of these allegations and all of this stuff that's going on, you know, all the things that they say he did or didn't do. Let's just say, when all is said and done, and he goes to this trial, he's exonerated. We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know.
In response to these latest allegations, Combs' legal team says the barrage of filings were clear attempts to garner publicity, adding, in court, the truth will prevail. Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman.
His lawyers are saying that money is the operative factor for a lot of people who have made claims against him. How do you feel about that?
I do agree that a lot of people are just looking for a payday. It's looking like Diddy is a new PPP scheme right now. You know, hotlines, you got stuff popping on Instagram. If you ever been to a Diddy party, you might be able to get some compensation. That's like you reeling people in. You're damaging the real victims out here, Harvey, by doing that. Because anybody and their grandmother could call up a hotline and say they've been to a Diddy party and never been. Anybody could say they met him and never have met him. Let's just let him have his day in court before, you know, everybody wants to start shooting him down.
Now, did you hear how Stevie J, Puff Daddy's brother, just said you're damaging the real victims when you allow fake, you know, scheming, scamming ones to seek through, leak through in on this Diddy hotline. So where is you're damaging the real victims by allowing fake ones to get through and be heard over the real victims? Stevie J, are you saying that there are real victims? Because that's what it sounded like to me. His brother, his buddy, his bestie, you know what I'm saying, done let it leak out that Diddy does have real victims. But unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get through because Tony Busby has set up a hotline for anybody to call and, you know, get through to file a lawsuit against Diddy. But the real victims are going to be damaged because they're not going to be able to get through. They're not going to be able to be heard or any of that. Is what I heard. What did y'all hear? Let me know in the chat.
How do you square the Cassie video with your impressions of Diddy?
Watching the Cassie video is what kind of turned my emotions into something different. I'm not around that kind of stuff. I wasn't raised around, you know, men putting their hands on women. So to watch, you know, one of your mentors go through something like that. And again, it's a video, you don't know what happened before, but even no matter what happened, in my opinion, you just don't do that.
Does that video change your view of Diddy, your feelings about him?
When I first saw the video, it did change my feelings at first about Diddy. And I was disappointed.
Ray J done seen Diddy slap a couple hoes before. That's why he threw Princess in the pool. Remember when he pushed Princess in the pool? We done seen Ray J lose his shit. Ray J done seen Diddy slap a hoe before.
Disappointed. Now, fast forwarding to now, I have more of a forgiving heart, and I'm looking at it in a different way.
How so?
I think holding everybody accountable for what they've done is important. But as you look at everything else that's being piled on top of this.
The Cassie beating ain't so bad, huh? Like, okay, y'all making it seem like the Cassie beating's at the top of Diddy's problems. That ain't as bad as whatever else he got going on over here. Why y'all keep shining such a bright flashlight on Cassie's beating from Diddy? That's not as bad as what y'all said was going on over there, is what Ray J is saying. And not for nothing, they can't lock Diddy up in the feds for domestic violence. So whatever he got going on over there is worse than what he did to Cassie in the hallway. But people are speculating that the reasons why he did it to her is because of what he got going on over there with the feds, okay? People are speculating that she was running from a freak off. She was tired of freaking off and seeing an exit and exited. And when he found out she was gone, that's why he ran out in a towel. He's in a towel. That's why he ran out in a towel, okay? That is why he ran out in a towel. Because he was in the middle of a freak off. Cassie got out. She got away, right? And he realized it and chased her and beat her down. That's what we're speculating. That's what I believe.
Now it's like a circus.
How did the Cassie video affect the way or alter the way you look at Diddy?
Well, you know, it really threw me for a loop because, as I've always stated, I always think about and talk about the things that I know to be true about Sean Combs. And you know, after I saw the video, I went and saw him in Miami. We had a conversation. And I let him know how affected I was by that. And, you know, I didn't know that he had that in him to do that.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility.
So my conversation with him was basically like, yo, like, you one of my heroes out here, and you hurt me with that.
And what did he say back to you?
I mean, it was pretty much, you know, a brotherhood moment that I'd rather not discuss right now, but, you know, it was a real emotional moment.
Can you give me some sense of it? Because I think it's important to know how he was dealing with friends like you when you suddenly see something like this that you say comes out of the blue.
He was hurt.
I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. Stevie J can fake and flaw all for the goddamn cameras all he won't. We honestly, real people honestly don't believe you, Stevie J, that you can. We've seen how you and Jocelyn used to get down on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Do we think that you and Jocelyn weren't rumbling and tumbling? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I don't believe Stevie J when he says, oh, you know, I had a heart-to-heart talk with my brother about what I seen on the cameras, man, when he assaulted Cassie. I don't believe it for 1 second, but yeah.
That video came out, it crushed him, you know, because he's like, yo, my daughters and my mom got to see this. And I'm like, yeah, your friends got to see it too. So it really...
They was more so concerned with what type of publicity it was going to bring. That's publicity.
Interesting. It hurt him.
Trust me.
Because the video came out or because of what he did on the video?
I believe both hurt him. What he did on the video, he couldn't believe that was the darkest point in his life, and he had to relive that and see that again. In 10 years. Who wants to see themselves beating on a girl in a video? I think that would kind of like hurt all of us. Any man.
It sounds like seeing the video was the headline as opposed to...
No, I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? I just know that he was in a dark place in his life, as he described to me, and that, you know, he was just doing a lot of drugs, and it was just dark for him.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life.
You know, so I wouldn't just say it's just what he saw. I believe it was the act and what he did as well that hurt him. I just feel for both of them. I feel for he and I feel for Cassie.
After many
Okay, so as we are about halfway through with the Diddy downfall, part 3, presenting by TMZ. Yeah, we're listening now to CBJ. So CBJ is, you know, on this, I don't know. You know, I don't believe him for 1 second about him caring for Cassie. I think that I believe that CBJ probably already knew about it. You know what I'm saying? He may even probably gave Diddy the understanding to, you know, hide it. Or whatsoever have you. Oh, hold on. What's it? Okay. So get a cupcake. Get a cupcake.
I always get cupcakes.
I would, yeah, I know. But don't take no cupcakes, okay? You can get them right out of the thing.
I get the white. I'm trying to think.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I don't believe CBJ. I think he knew about the beating of Cassie at the hotel when it happened. He was probably there. You see what I'm saying? So there's a little Jackson Helen back. Yeah, we are reviewing the documentary of Diddy Part 3, Inside the Freak House. Okay. Alrighty. Hope your Wednesday afternoon is going lovely. We're back up with the documentary.
They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims.
The feds say they have videos of some of
Should they
these
do
freak-offs.
something with the dog?
Are you in possession of any videos or something that materially shows what allegedly happened?
Yes, I have videos and pictures, but let's be clear. You know, video may show a particular act taking place, but it's almost impossible to determine whether the individuals involved in the act, you know, what they have in their system. I mean, it's very hard. I mean, we've gotten so many unsolicited videos and pictures, and without the witness or the victim themselves, like, explaining that, I mean, it doesn't really help a whole lot. I mean, you're sent a video of a sexual act taking place. You're, you know, shocked at that, but then you try to say, okay, how does this fit into these allegations, and what does this mean? So, you know, a lot of people are making much ado about videos and pictures. To me, what those do is confirm that the victim was at this particular place and time with particular people. It still doesn't answer the fact of whether that person was coerced, forced, drugged, those allegations, and that's, of course, that's the hard work that we have to do. I don't think anyone's shocked that sex was going on at some of these after parties. I think we didn't just fall off the turnip truck. We know that kind of stuff happens.
And that's not illegal.
It's not illegal. That's not illegal at all. And people having sex out in the open at a party, that's not illegal either at a private residence. But, you know, the question is, what was the state of mind of that individual participating? Was that individual coerced? Was that individual drugged? And a video typically doesn't really tell you that, unless you can determine from the video that the person doesn't have all of his or her faculties.
Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way.
This didn't just happen in a vacuum. You think about how are you able to get this amount of drugs in this kind of bulk? How are you able to get this kind of cash that was used for various parts of this? How are you able to rent out entire floors of a hotel with the staff and the management allowing this to go on?
Not only was she in this suit, she alleges, raped by Diddy, but while two celebrities were at first watching Diddy commit that rape, and then one of the celebrities actually raped her as well.
You said that there were other powerful people that you were looking at who you allege were involved in some of these assaults. Are we talking about cases involving other celebrities, politicians, business people?
I think all the above. These were very popular parties. This was the venue everybody wanted to be invited to. So a lot of people participated that will raise people's eyebrows.
Have you been in touch with any of them to say, we're looking at you, you did something wrong? Have you had any contact beyond the Diddy people?
I'm gonna just not speak on that. I will say that you know, the typical practice is to send a demand to lay out, here's what we believe the situation was, here's how we think you were involved, and just try to start a dialogue. Failing that, we just file a lawsuit.
Safe to say you've sent some demand letters already?
That's true.
Beyond Diddy?
True.
Look good, bro. You look fresh. You look fresh, bro.
I'm curious what you think about that criticism that, you know, you put enough embarrassing things in a complaint, or say you're going to, and it forces a settlement, and it becomes almost, that's the game. What do you say about that? That's a criticism I hear on the other side.
No, it's a fair point. I mean, the system is the system. It's a gulag, if you will. It's a tough process, and we always make an attempt to resolve these cases without the filing of a lawsuit. That's just what we try to do. And if we fail in that, we're going to file the case and we're going to pursue it with aggression. Many of you came here thinking or hoping, or perhaps believing that I may start naming names. Well, that day will come, but it won't be today. But the names that we're going to name are names that will shock you. Let's make sure that we capture everybody that was involved in this, not only the people that were actively engaged in this egregious conduct, the people that were facilitating this conduct, the people that were there and turned a blind eye to this conduct, the people that benefited from this conduct, the people that profited from this conduct. Let's make sure that we find all of those and make sure that justice is served.
To your knowledge, did Dawn see other celebrities participating in freak-offs where they crossed the line?
So in our case, we named not only Sean Combs, but 20 other individuals and entities, because to us, this is not just about Mr. Combs, it's about all of those who were complicit. And some high-ranking people in the music industry are named in our complaint. We did not leave anyone out because we're afraid that they're a celebrity or they're a powerful person. They are named.
Of the 12 individuals named in the lawsuit, only Diddy and another Bad Boy record exec are named specifically. The others are all does, they're anonymous.
I think we do have to be careful to not sweep everybody into this who may have just been present at a party, who did not know, who thought that sexual acts were consensual. That's not illegal. That's not for everyone's taste to be at a party like that, but it's not illegal to have consensual sex even at a party, even openly. What is illegal, and I draw a very bright line, is non-consensual sex. People being drugged, people being forced, people being exploited.
In my view, if you were there and you knew somebody was being drugged because you had seen it happen in a previous party or a previous situation, and you didn't do anything, and you allowed it to happen, and you continue to enjoy yourself and party and whoop and holler and have a good time, as far as I'm concerned, you are just as liable as the individual who shipped the person in, who paid the persons that were there, who kept them longer than they thought they were going to be there, who bought the drugs, who took the money out of the bank, who put the drugs in a little shot of either a lemon shot or some sort of champagne and participated in this egregious conduct. You're just as guilty as far as I'm concerned.
The Cassie Ventura video, for example, that was about her trying to leave the party and being dragged back in by Sean Combs. So some of the allegations in our case are about that, about not being allowed to leave, which is clearly illegal.
People just creating these narratives is bogus as fuck. Beyonce's in it, Jay-Z's in it. You're gonna get this person, they're gonna come out, you know, this happened to this person. You're taking Justin Bieber comments that he made for something totally different and attaching it to the Diddy situation.
And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Usher, all of these people who are trying to move on with their lives, do their thing, so you're just a part of some kind of fictitious story. So I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their name out of it.
Do you know people who have had demands put upon them where they have paid off to keep this quiet?
Here's what I do know. People do catch and kills all day. And a catch and kill, I don't know if, of course you know, but for the regular world, somebody has the truth, somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money that you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed.
Well, I want to just make sure I understand you. What you're saying is what? That you know people who have been approached by women, men, whatever, who have said, give me money and I won't talk?
Here's the other way around that, Harvey. I'll give you money, please don't talk. Is that the same thing?
You mean there are people who would
Feed
go
him.
to others who might sue them and say, I want to cut you off at the pass, give you some money, let's just squash this?
That's what a settlement's called, right? But it really was, don't say what you know. Here's some money to be quiet. And I'm saying that.
You are a well-connected guy. Do you know that what you've just described, is that going on now?
Yes.
I'm a cool who else but me? And if you don't feel me, that means you can't touch me. It's ugly, trust me. Get it right, dog. We ain't
The homie doesn't have 500 gazillion trillion dollars. So where's everybody going with these money grabs where they're saying entertainers are paying back people because they're involved in shit like that? They want to talk to me. They want to talk to me about what happened to them. They call me. They feel like they can trust me.
Wait a minute.
So I don't
calling
know where
you,
this is
calling
gonna
you
go.
for what? Calling you for what?
Because they want to tell me about certain things that happened with them and Diddy.
Ray, I want to make sure I understand this. Are these high-profile people calling you because they've had some affiliation with Diddy that they don't want to come out and they think you might be the vessel for it coming out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I don't even know why I just said it, but I said it, so what? Now they gotta be mad. Come get me, fuck it.
Were they specific?
I definitely feel like Ray J is just simply trying to get ahead of the situation so that he's not looked at as a person that also deserves to be sitting next to Diddy. That's what the takeaway I get from Ray J trying to jump ahead of the Diddy mess.
Specific about what they did with Diddy?
I don't want to say. I think I said too much.
Okay, as Harvey Levin pays some bills, we're going to pay some bills. Thank you so much for watching Tanisha Talks Teas today. We are reviewing the third documentary, part 3 episode presented by TMZ on Diddy. So, I'm going to pin that. Thank you all, 41 people, for joining. I hope that you guys are enjoying. But also just, understanding the nature of what we are all looking at. And what are your thoughts on this? Are you guys looking for Diddy to go to jail? Are you looking for Diddy to have to pay some type of consequential, punishment for his alleged crimes? Do you believe Diddy done these things? We know he's abused Cassie. Do you guys believe Cassie that he made her do freak offs? She wasn't willing. He made her use drugs. What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're back up live with the show.
Hey, yo, New York! New York, we fucking did it! I didn't go out nothing.
I was the sound of Bad Boy. With that guy. That's the Diddy I know. The funny guy, the great father, the great friend. That's the guy I'm going to continue to support. I'm not going to turn my back on a friend. And if it's like I'm getting crucified in the press just for being a friend. I'm not going to stop being somebody's friend. I'm not going to do that. I'll never leave my people in the dark, Paul.
How could this have gone under the radar for so many years if it was so out in the open?
This is the question that everybody asks me. How could this have gone on for so long? Because so many accusers have come forward now. The U.S. government is now prosecuting Sean Combs in a very serious case that will probably keep him in prison for the rest of his life. And the answer is that it is terrifying to come forward against somebody like Sean Combs, somebody who was accused of threatening violence against anybody who crossed him, somebody who was accused of engaging in acts of violence himself. When you add to that he was one of the most powerful people in the music industry, and people want to work, it made it virtually impossible to accuse him. I think people felt, who am I to come forward against somebody with the level of power, the resources, all of the people who were complicit, the enablers that Sean Combs had. That's unfortunately why it won.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm like, okay, P. Diddy's weird. He's one of them weird producers. I get it. You're not like Bad Boy for life. You're not like from the street. You're not nothing like, I don't know what you are, but you're like a creep. I'm just grateful to have made it out. And, I'm pretty sure a lot of women who have went through this, they're probably afraid to say everything would happen because it'll make them look some type of way. Honestly.
It takes a lot of courage to step forward, especially with somebody like Sean Combs, with this white-hot media attention on this. This is not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, this is going to be a very arduous situation, and you need to be prepared for that. And people are going to accuse you. Why did you wait this long? Why did you wait? Why did you wait to come forward? And part of the purpose of that press conference was to let potential victims out there know, is like, you're not alone. There are a lot of other people like you who have gotten the courage to step forward. And so if you have been victimized, step forward too.
Diddy, can I pray with you? Can I pray with you, please?
What are your feelings now about Diddy?
My feelings now about Diddy is that I want to be a voice of reason. It hurts me to know that my friend going through this. I can only imagine what he's going through in jail. This is nothing nobody should ever experience. When somebody gets locked up and it's something really bad, and just looking at the past experiences from some of my other friends, it's almost like losing somebody, because most of the time you never ever see them again. And you know, even though looking at it from the outside, I'm sure that it's an extreme emotional roller coaster ride for him more than anybody.
Okay, that was the downfall of Diddy and how to take the freak offs, right? With TMZ presenting. So, how do you guys think Diddy's going to fare? Do you guys think Diddy's going to come out on top? Do you think Diddy's not going to come out at all? Do you believe you know, I'm going to go out and say I do believe a lot of what is being alleged about Diddy, because we have been hearing so much throughout the decades about Diddy, like 30 years of nothing but tumultuous, toxic mess from Diddy. Right? So I believe, you know, a lot of what Cassie said Diddy was doing. We saw how he abused her. I told you guys how I, you know, believe what had happened on, you know, the day of the incident at the hotel. I think they were having a freak off. She didn't want to freak off. She found an escape route. He saw she escaped. He chased her down and beat her down. That's what I think. And I'd also like to say, if you are a victim of any type of domestic crime, please call your local domestic hotline, violence hotline, for assistance. No one deserves to be in a domestic situation. There is help. People do care. You can get out with your life. Cassie may have not made it out of that moment in her life. Like, he could have kicked her and internally damaged her and killed her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's serious. So, just get out. There's no reason why, you know what I'm saying? You need, just because of the money, because I believe that's what Kim Porter was in it for. Kim Porter did not want to lead the lifestyle. You know, Kim Porter had a great lifestyle. She was a very successful model. She could have given herself a great life as well without Diddy. So, you know, not for nothing. Also, people like Diddy, you know, it's hard to leave because he won't let you. You know, he stalks you, hunts you down, you know, violates you, terrorizes you, threatens you. You know, he may unalive somebody around you to let you know this could be you type shit. You know what I mean? So, but I highly recommend calling your nearest domestic violence crisis hotline number and getting help and getting out. This has been Tanisha Talks Teas. We just reviewed part 3 of Diddy. We're going to come back with some more Diddy documentaries and things like that, because I believe they have one on Hulu. Let me look this up and see if they got one. Sean Diddy Combs is one of the most powerful men in music. Now the entrepreneur is facing Diddy's downfall, the impact. Hulu is going to have an original series. They're going to do a whole season. Okay. This is wild. This is wild. Okay. I also heard that 50 Cent was doing one. They have one called Diddy Summit to Plummet. In the Dark, the Diddy Story. New Diddy documentary released. Surviving Diddy. The Bad Boy docuseries. We're going to look at the one on Hulu. We're going to see what that is giving. Okay, so the Hollywood Reporter has investigating Diddy, all of the documentary projects released.org that are in the works. So let's take a look at this. '7, 2020, making the band and a childhood. Okay, we got the screen put up. So what this is looking like, Peacock isn't the first out of the gate with a nonfiction product. The charges from facing Sean Diddy Combs. That would be the ever nimble TMZ, which released a special in April 2024 that was soon followed by others from 2020 and Nightline. But the NBC Universal-owned streamer still made a splash on Thursday with the trailer for its up-and-coming Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy. Okay, you have to check that one out. The 90-minute documentary special set for January 14th, okay, promises to dig deep into the explosive claims Combs is facing, tracing the musician and the entrepreneur's rise to power and featuring insiders like I'll Be Sure, the ex-husband of Combs, longtime girlfriend Kim Porter, a former bodyguard, a makeup artist, an intern, a winner on Making the Band, and a childhood pal. So these are all going to be people that are going to be on the Diddy, the Making the Bad Boy on January 14th. We'll definitely be covering that. Let's see. The Peacock project will soon be followed by others that are sure to make headlines of their own. Rapper / entertainment mogul Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and the producers behind the 2024 ratings juggernaut Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids 2, we watched that, are working on separate projects. Below, there's a list of major nonfiction titles that have already been released or are in the works as this dark twist and Combs story unfolds. And the saga isn't even over yet. Combs does remain in jail in New York awaiting trial, which is currently set for May. The mogul has pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs' legal team said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter that the documentaries included unchecked claims and baseless conspiracy theories. Combs unequivocally denies these false allegations, which are harmful, defamatory, and supported by credible evidence. The team said, adding that the facts will prevail in court. We've covered all three of the TMZ Presents The Downfall of Diddy, which came out April 28, 2024. The Indictment, September 27, 2024. And Inside the Freak-Offs, November 12, 2024. The intrepid minds of TMZ, followed up by the publication's extensive coverage of the federal raids of Combs' Los Angeles, New York, and Miami homes, with 3-hour-long specials about the allegations against Combs and his legal troubles. Former Danity Kane and member Aubrey O'Day, former Bad Boy Records artist Mark Curry, Combs' friend Stevie J, Ray J, two people who said they attended Diddy parties, and several attorneys were among those who spoke for the episodes. Impact Times Nightline, Diddy's Downfall, June 6th, my birthday, 2024, and Diddy's Drugs, Lies, and Freak-Offs, September 26th. The two roughly half-hour episodes of the ABC's news program charted Combs' rise and fall through interviews with Cassie Ventura's friend Tiffany Red, R. Kelly survivor Lizette Martinez, former Combs collaborator Donnie Klang, and former New York Police Department detective Derek Parker. Then there's A Secret Life of Diddy, a special edition of 2020. The 1-hour ABC News special released less than a month after Combs was arrested in New York on multiple charges and plumbed the unfolding situation with fresh reporting, interviews, and analysis. Combs' friend Ray J, Red, and Martinez all spoke for the project. Then we got the up-and-coming Diddy, The Making of the Band. We're going to be watching promising contributions from former members of Combs' camp. The up-and-coming Peacock special which is already grabbing attention. The trailer released Thursday contains allegations that Diddy hosted underage girls in rooms where sexual activity was taking place. Okay, they have got several Diddy documentaries we have to cover, y'all. We only did 3. There's like 7 of them. Okay. Untitled Investigation Discovery Project, sometimes 2024, 2025. Fresh off the success of Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, ID and Mary Robertson's production company, Maxine, are reteaming for a series on Combs that remains in production. Investigative reporting from Rolling Stone is set to be featured in the series, which will be released on ID and Max. Okay. Then last but not least, untitled Netflix documentary series release date not yet announced. The Alex Stapleton directed project, executive produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, which we are all anxiously awaiting, okay, is currently in production. In a July cover story with THR, Jackson, who famously has been embroiled in a long-running feud with Combs, explained that he wanted to make the series because I'm the only one from the hip-hop culture that's produced quality projects, working behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera. We are anxiously awaiting that Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, okay? So we have got how many more to cover, y'all? The one with 50 Cent and the Untitled Investigation Discovery Project, that's 2. Diddy Making the Band of Bad Boy, January 14th, that's 3. Secret Life of Diddy, a special edition of 2020, that's 4. Impact and Nightline, Diddy's downfall. And then Diddy's drug lies and freak-offs. That's 6 we got to cover. And we've done the TMZ presents the downfall of Diddy. So we got 6 more documentaries to get to y'all. I might be back here. I got to take something out for dinner for my family. We are our family to cook for dinner tonight. But I might come back up here with the Secret Life of Diddy or the Diddy drugs, lies, and freak-outs, girl. Okay, so y'all give me a bitty bit. Yes, okay. But thank you all so much for being here. If you are loving, liking, and, enjoying, please bless me as I am blessing you with, just the deep dives into Diddy. Like, Diddy's in the shit, y'all. And we're here for it. We're going to be covering, watching. We're going to be here for all of it, giving our tea talk, sipping this hot tea. Cash out me at Tanisha Talks Teas for blessings, donating to the show. You can also drop me some stars down in the comments. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, following, loving, liking, sharing, all that you do, engaging. We greatly appreciate you blessing us. That's why we're here to bless you. Thank you. Bye. Welcome to Tanisha Talks Tea, where we dive into authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us. From personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation.